almost at the place I need to go to. I just find it funny how on the Google Maps it says it'll take an estimated 1 hour and 19 minutes to get there, but by the looks of it, literally it's gonna take me like 37 minutes. It makes me feel like I'm a car. I was hoping to fly the drone today too here. I guess not with all the rain again still. I guess speaking of the drones, what was the first thing I read today? This one says, armed Turkish drone lands in Cyprus as regional tension rises. Delivery follows Libya-Turkey deal aimed at securing rights to gas reserves in East Mediterranean. A Turkish military drone was delivered to northern Cyprus on Monday amid growing tensions over Turkey's deal with Libya that extended its claim to the gas-rich Eastern Mediterranean. The Bayraktar TB2 drone landed in Gesekale Airport in Famagusta at about 7 a.m. GMT on Monday, an AFP correspondent said. The breakaway Northern Cyprus government had approved the use of the airport for unmanned aerial vehicles. That must be something, basically approving the airport all of a sudden to have this military drone and stuff, I guess, to be there. Is that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, which is only recognized by Turkey, said approval for the drone was given last week in light of the latest development in Eastern Mediterranean region and to protect legitimate rights and interests of the TRNC in Turkey. Actually, that thought got me thinking too, just in terms of drones in airports. You guys remember that story just a while back about the guy in the US that got fined $20,000 because his drone had a flyaway and it landed in the airport? So it made me wonder here, like what happens if you have like an advanced pilot who basically requested permission to fly around the airport area, like not in the actual airport, but around the area. And then all of a sudden there was some kind of emergency where they had to land. And basically the airport, like right on the strip or whatever, was the best way to do it for safety. Would they actually allow them to like land their drone in the airport, assuming they phone all the emergency numbers and all that, as if they're like a regular plane? I mean, realistically, if it was something like a Mavic Pro, someone's flying it like for photography work or something, I don't see really any examples where specifically you would have to land it like on a runaway in the airport. Like you can land it like almost anywhere, but I would imagine something like a drone delivery or something like that with a huge parcel like in the future or something like that. And then this story I read was kind of cool. Apparently happened a while ago, and it basically deals with a topic of, I guess, people in a really important position having the ability to really listen to what people are trying to say. Because it reminds me of like all that Transport Canada stuff happening recently, as you guys know, like with the guy that doesn't really want to be helpful, having that 500-meter thing stuck in his head. Well, this one here says, local victim's daughter calls 911 to, quote, order a pizza to signal domestic violence. A scary situation of alleged domestic violence in Oregon ended up with the suspect abuser in handcuffs, all because the victim's daughter used an innovative approach to seeking help. She dialed 911, but instead of asking for the police, she pretended to order a pizza. She used this tactic to keep the person who was hitting her mom in the dark that she was calling for help. That way he wouldn't run away before police got there. It's a strategy that worked. In his 14 years of service, this is a call Oregon dispatcher Tim Tenachek has never gotten before. And he says, quote, you see it on Facebook, but it's not something that anyone has ever been trained for. We're just trained to listen, he said. So essentially when you phone 911, there's these dispatchers that are supposed to listen to what the person's saying, what the emergency is, and then call the appropriate authorities. But again, the person asked for pizza, so this the conversation went like this. Like first the person asks the phone, says, Oregon 911, and the caller says, I would like to order a pizza at, and immediately the guy's reaction is like, you called 911 to order a pizza? And then she's like, yeah, apartment. And immediately the reaction was, this is the wrong number to call for pizza. Like you would assume if you're that guy, like why the heck are you phoning me? Like is this a prank or something? And the caller's like, no, you're not understanding. And then apparently with all this, he put the pieces together like, this doesn't seem right. And he realized afterwards like, oh, I get it. Like she was trying to talk in a way where the victims, for example, won't get exposed. So she's talking in code, I guess you could say. So afterwards, whenever he asked a question related to the potential situation, she would confirm or deny, but then follow up with something like pepperoni, basically to make it sound like on her end she's still ordering a pizza. So it's kind of cool. You can listen to like some of the call.
911.
I would like to order a pizza at
You called 911 to order a pizza?
Yeah, apartment.
This is the wrong number to call for a pizza.
No, you're not.
I'm getting you now. Is the other guy still there?
Yep. I need a large pizza.
All right. How about medical? You need medical?
No. With pepperoni.
So I guess you can say this guy was really good at his job, huh? It says, domestic violence calls are common, but not like this. He alerted officers to turn their sirens off when responding. Tenachik says his intuition that something wasn't right kicked in. To him, that reaffirms how important listening is in his line of work. And then it says, quote, other dispatchers that I've talked to would not have picked up on this. They told me they wouldn't have picked up on this. And as you can imagine, they probably would just hang up or something like that, right? Like, ah, what a joke. Even other aspects of life is really important. I mean, I know everyone has different life experience, but that's why I always try to listen and understand the other perspective. Like one of my examples just could be in general, someone who's just yelling their head off and stuff like that, you could just assume, like you're an idiot, you're a violent person and all that, like get lost. Whereas in reality, if you really listen and see what they're doing, it could be they're really depressed, for example, so you have to approach it in a different way and understand what is it really that they're trying to go after. For example, attention. Are they just trying to bully someone else because they're being bullied, as an example? Especially when you're in that position, to make decisions that could potentially be like, say, life or death for someone else as well. So it's just kind of scary with the thought again, with the person, like, even though you clarified them so many times, like for example with the 500-meter thing, I can just imagine a person like that in this situation, he would have probably hung up on the person.
Of course, they talk and it comes apart.
Alright, see you guys later.